there was more the emotional journey why I was on it.
Yes.
And I spoke to a number of people before I went on it, my wife and my family, a couple of friends of mine. And they are fighting their own battles with various illnesses. And it became very clear that whenever I was challenged in that journey, that I was driving through ruts or getting stuck in the snow or whatever, I related that back to, I wonder how they're feeling in the process of medication. And that came to a head as we were heading for Olderfjord into Honningsvåg, where we had to drive about 70 kilometers. And my hairs, my arms, when I think about it, it brings up an awful lot of emotion with me, because Declan said this is going to be a hard part of the journey because we're going to be exposed to winds. And we certainly were. And now I'm a big guy on an old bike, which was quite heavy. Declan is a lighter person on a lighter bike, and wisdom actually brought him that way. But and we were going over a particular patch. There was a number of them. There was 4. The same thing, the recurrent thing. The wind was coming in from the left. It was catching us. It was like someone punching us in the stomach. And it was just it was relentless. It wasn't just a punch. It was relentless coming at us. And I was over on the bike, and I was holding. I remember I couldn't even hear the motorbike with the sound of the wind. It was like howling. At the start of it, my visor was slightly over, and the wind caught it, lifted up, and pulled back my head. Oh, God, gee, I had to pull down the visor. I couldn't pull it down too much because it would fog up. So I had to pull it back down to a little gap where I could breathe and yet the wind protect me. The noise was exceptional. And we were going through this patch. We were kind of lifting and turning at the same time. And this wind was coming in from the left. And I was staying on the white line. It was the only reference we had because there was snow all around us. And I could see Declan being pushed, the wind being pushing him. And he was fighting it. And he was there, and I was shouting at him, Declan, straighten up your butt. I was straightening up your bike. I said, Jim, straighten up your bike. We were fighting this wind. And as I was going through that process, in the back of my mind, I was actually, I must be a woman. I was dual thinking. I was thinking to myself, my friends who were going through real unknowns, and it was an unknown we were going through. That I didn't know was Declan going to end up on the barrier, thrown over a 200-meter fjord into the sea. I was fighting for my own space on the road, and he was fighting for his. And I looked at it one time, and he'd gone down about 45 degrees or more, and the wheels of the bike had gone in under the barrier. You know, there was the timber in the barrier. They were gone under it. And I said, Jesus, if he sits up at all, he's gone over. He'll just flip, you know. But he fought and fought and fought. And eventually he managed, he put trust in his wheels. I talked to him afterwards, and he pulled away. And there's such a relief for me. And lucky for me, everything suited the conditions. I stayed the white line, and he came back in. And even after that, we've hit the conditions 3 or 4 times. And you're praying for some relief. We hit a couple of tunnels that took that relief away. But the fear, the anxiety, the energy, the shouting that went on, it was all sorts of emotions going on. But through that, the one thought for me, and this is the memorying bite, is not completing the task. Yes, we got to Nordkapp. It was 2 or 3 moments in that I thought of the battle I was doing and the battle of my friends were doing. And that was the closest thing I felt that I could ever get to. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
You bet.
Very touching.